Hi, everyone. I'm Angela,
And I'm Aisha.
and welcome to For the Love of Tinsel, your safe and cozy place to lean into your love of romantic holiday movies.
Yeah, this is your time to just hang out with us and escape into a world where love and magic and happy endings are a requirement.
And into an industry where the budgets are small, the pace is fast,
Yeah,
but the intentions are always to entertain.
yes. And we are so excited today because it's another special episode of Behind the Curtain.
Yes, and today we're really going to focus on the art of writing a Christmas movie and all of the sort of expectations and parameters that go into bringing it into your, I would say, TV screen, but your phone or however you watch Christmas
Wherever you watch it.
movies. Yeah,
Yeah,
wherever you watch it.
exactly. Right. So we're going to do a couple of things. First, I choose picks, and I picked two movies that I actually thought the writing was really good. And since this episode is about very specific about writing, I thought this would be a great time to come up with these two. So again, Aisha's picks are not necessarily from this year. They're just two movies that, when rated, were rated 7 or higher. So the first one, and again, Angela has no idea what I'm going to say, so we get to get her reaction in real time. Okay, the first one that I'm going to say is one that I know that she's seen, and it's called Your Christmas or Mine, that came out in 2022. It is on Amazon Prime. I'm going to read you what it's about. Students Haley and James are young and in love. And after saying goodbye for Christmas at a London train station, they both make the same mad split second decision to swap trains and surprise each other. And it's British. It has Asa Butterfield and Cora Kirk in it. And it is really, really good. It is
It is.
epic feeling. It's all about
Mm-hmm.
family, but the romance is there, and it's diverse in the best way possible. Like, there's all the characters are have their own thing going on, and it's
We
just
talk about it like every
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 time.
season.
I can't, because, and I also don't feel like it gets enough of its due.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It's really pretty. They
Mm-hmm.
had a real budget. It is
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous, and there is a Your Christmas or Mine too. So if you like the first
Mm-hmm.
one, some people even like the second one even more. But the writing is there, and it's not easy to write something as epic as this. And but the performances are great. I just can't recommend it enough. The second one is called It's Christmas Eve. It came out in 2018. I do not think Angela has seen this one because
I don't
it's
know what that is. Uh-huh.
and it's on Hallmark.
Uh-huh.
And the plot is as follows: a school superintendent with a knack for turning around schools meets a single father who works as the head of the school's bankrupt music department. And
I love the single father
I know.
ones.
And as she rediscovers her passion for music, she works to save the dreams of the kids who love music as well. Now, here's the thing about this one: it stars Leanne Rhymes.
Oh,
I know,
okay.
right? And Tyler Hines. And I think this is
Oh.
I know. Can you imagine the two of them together?
I
And
know.
their names rhyme, which is kind of funny in its own self. But and I think Tyler is without beard in this one. This is an
Oh,
earlier
I
one
want to
because
see this
that's his
one.
thing. But
Hmm.
there is music in it, and they really leaned into um the writing in this, and the plot, and the understanding what the stakes um, are better than most of these Hallmark movies. And I think it's worth seeing it because it's kind of as an old school. They put some money into the plot and the writing and all of those things, and it's it's worth it. So it's definitely older. It's on
Hmm.
Hallmark, and it's good. It's very good.
Okay, okay. Exciting.
So we really want you to, take a look and let us know what you think. I would really love to know if you've given either one of these movies a try.
Let us know what you think. We
Mhm.
want to hear from you through social media, through or text me. Let me know what you thought. Um,
If they have your phone number, you've got bigger problems, but
okay,
okay.
well, some people do here. I mean, this is a lot of friends and family. So
That's fair.
um, so now we are gonna, as we said earlier, we're
Mhm.
gonna talk about the industry, and we talked about small budgets and fast pace. Uh, and so this week we're gonna talk to Isabel Dréan, and this is gonna be great. So let's get started.
Welcome to Behind the Curtain, where we give our listeners and we give our friends the opportunity to hear from professionals who work so hard to bring you the rom-com holiday movie magic that's on your screen.
And we're so excited to meet Isabel.
Yay.
Isabel, how are you doing today?
Thank you. Hi, I'm great. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so we always begin by reading people's bios
Yes.
so everyone can get sort of a sense of your accomplishments. I'm going to, compress a little bit, but um, Isabel Dréan is a screenwriter, director, and producer based in Los Angeles. She started her career in horror and psychological thrillers before pivoting to Christmas movies. The shift to writing holiday movies changed everything, leading to 5 of her scripts being produced over an 18-month period.
Whoa.
Incredible. Her produced credits include Secret Santa, Christmas Beneath the Stars, Christmas on the Rocks, The Holiday Swap, and An Eclectic Christmas. She currently teaches a master class titled How to Write a Christmas Movie in 21 Days, sharing her process for quickly writing holiday films. Isabel's passion project, Love Letter to Laos, tells the story of how she ended up opening the first bookstore in Laos after the communist era. She's set to direct the biopic based on her life. She continues to develop features and TV projects across genres, from rom coms to psychological thrillers, showcasing her diverse talents and dedication to compelling storytelling. So thank you. Actually, that was such a well written bio,
Yes,
Isabel. Like I
exactly.
didn't even have to cut out the part where it's like, and then she did this and did that. But you're a writer, so
I
that
was about to
that
say, I'm
makes a
like,
lot of sense.
and she's a
Thank
writer.
you.
Exactly, exactly,
I teach people to write their bio, so I better be good.
Exactly, right?
exactly, exactly.
So, Ange, how are you and Isabel connected?
Oh, well, so Isabel and I mean, how are we connected? It's like kind of the Facebook, when you're in film, everyone, you kind of have all these Facebook friends where you're like, we connected or something somewhere. So actually, Facebook, but there's got to be another way. But yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
use Facebook to network a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So I probably am the one who reached out to you when I see people that are doing things. When I see people that are active and actually in the industry trying to move things, I keep my eye and I'm like, okay, I want to know this person. So I'm probably the one who reached out to you. I mean, it's been a lot. We've been connected for a
Yeah,
while.
it's been years. Yeah,
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
love that. Well, I am really honored to meet you for the first
Yes,
time,
me
Isabel.
too.
So I actually have a question. I was just wondering about, how did you get started in like this whole in the entertainment and all of this? Because you're a writer and you're a producer and you're a director and all of the things. And so I want to know, I did hear your amazing bio, but I want to know, like, for you, is there an order for, I'm a writer and I produce and direct? Where did you start off with writing? Did you want to direct first and you're like, you know what, I need something that's worthy of my talent, so I'm going to write something? Like, what was your direction?
Yeah, so my journey is a little bit, I think, unusual. I started as an actress.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, I started as an actress. I lived in New York, studied theater, produced. Actually, did my first theater. I created a theater company, at 23 years old, and did an
wow.
off-Broadway show. And then
Mm,
I moved to LA. And then, as you can hear my accent at the time, being an actress with an accent, then my accent is not typical French, but I am French. So I ended up in a place where they didn't know what to do with me.
mm.
And
Oh,
I got sick of it. I was like,
yes,
I'm not
I can
going to spend.
imagine.
And it was always like the waitress, one line here, one line there.
Right.
And
Right,
to be
right.
honest, I was like, I'm not going to sacrifice my whole life to pray to get one line in the Nicolas Cage movie. I mean,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
like, so I quit. Actually, I started screenwriting. I wrote one script with my mother in 1999.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
And my dream was to get interest from Miramax. At the time,
Mm-hmm.
Miramax was the end all. Like that was the ultimate dream.
Right.
And I got interest from Miramax, but at the time, I was going through a really bad breakup, and
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
career as an actress was kind of hitting a wall. And I still can't really explain it, but maybe limiting beliefs or all of that, of fear of success. But I basically left, skipped, sold everything and left town, went
Mm.
around the world on a journey to find something else to give meaning to my life.
Mm.
Understood.
and ended
Understood.
Mhm.
up in Laos. There
Mhm.
was no books in Laos at the time, and decided to open a small bookstore, bringing books in. And then
Can you
I
do me a
started.
favor? Can you tell
Yes,
our listeners where Laos is?
Laos is a country in Southeast Asia.
Mhm.
Between it's circled between Thailand, China, Vietnam, and Cambodia.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's a very small country with, every country in that area have a huge population. Laos only has 6 to 7 million.
Mhm.
Um,
Wow.
and it's quite well unknown. Most people go to all the others and forget Laos, but for some reason, people kept telling me go to Laos. It was just reopening at the time
Oh, wow.
from the
Mhm.
communist era, and I got there, I guess, at the right place at the right time, and it was literally like the universe was like, you are going to do this, because everything happened within a week, where I came there for 2 days
Wow.
as a tourist, and a week later I left with a partner, I rented a house for 10 years, and then I
Wow.
went to buy books, and then I befriended this Lao kid, and through the love of books I became his guardian,
Mhm.
and I ended up
Whoa.
staying in Laos for 10 years. I had a partner, had my 2 kids. I had the most popular bar in Laos for 10 years. I created a
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
fair trade company, and
Mm.
doing a lot of development with NGOs for helping villages and like poor villages to try to bring some income with their arts and craft. And then I hit a certain birthday, and the
I know
you
this.
know,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're
yeah.
wondering, okay, what am I going to regret? Because
Mhm.
and then it came clear to me that making movies has always been my dream since I was like maybe 3 years old. Like I
Mhm.
can't remember my life not dreaming of making a movie. And yes, I took a break, but at one point I was like, okay, if I don't do this in my life, I will have
Mhm.
regrets.
Yeah.
And so people didn't believe me. I had 4 businesses, 50 employees, 2 kids. And basically, yeah, in June, I'm leaving, and packed 4 luggages, and had my mom was running the show while I left. But my partner and I and the kids came back to North America. We went to Montreal for a few years.
Wow.
I started a streaming platform like a
Wow.
Netflix, but a curated for short content in French. And
Mm.
then I started producing. And within a year, like less than a year, they offered us financing to create our own show, without having. I had, we did
Uh,
documentaries, like little videos and stuff in Laos, but I really didn't have even they didn't even ask us for anything. And financed a show which became, it was a murder mystery type, Agatha Christie type. In 2011 there hadn't
Wow.
been any of those, and I was like, oh, I think a lot of people like me loved her when they were kids, so I felt that there was a moment where it was needed. And then of course,
Mm.
they started making them. And so the concept of the series was very similar to Glass Onion, but we did it a decade earlier, more than
Mm.
a decade
gotcha.
earlier. And it was a very big success. And then they gave us money again, and we did a second season. And this, both season I produced with my
Mm.
partner and directed.
Wow.
And also I was also one of the broadcasting the series.
Mm.
And
I mean, you already
then
have like 50 hats on. You didn't want to star in it as well. I mean, at this point,
Exactly.
I'm
no,
just
and
I'm so
actually,
blown away. I'm just kind of
I
like
know.
I'm how?
yeah, and no, acting was definitely, that boat has sailed. I realize I'm definitely not that that
Oh my
person.
goodness.
Mhm.
But then I got introduced to Alon Ariana, who is the producer of Your Honor, and we went to pitch at. He optioned my show. We went
Mm.
to Warner Brothers, and my first pitch in Hollywood, we sold in the room.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, it didn't get made, but it's very complex. Even when you get your show or your things optioned or sold, it's really hard to actually get it made.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I learned a lot through that process, and I
Mhm.
separated from my partner, and I decided with that win that it was the right time for me to move back to LA.
Gotcha.
I always felt that I wanted to. Um, and I had two young kids, and I underestimated the support that I had in Laos and support that I had in Montreal. I came here by myself, single mom, no support,
Yeah.
two kids. I gave my partner the company so I could be free, and basically realize you can't direct if you can't leave your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Right.
It's funny how that
Mhm.
works out, but yes.
Yeah.
So a couple of years of trying but really struggling with that, then I came to the conclusion that I need to start writing again.
Mhm.
So I took that script that I wrote in 99, redid a huge rewrite over a
Mhm.
3-month period, then submitted to Nickel Fellowship
Mm.
and placed quarterfinals
Oh,
Oh,
that's huge.
wow.
within
Yeah.
3 months of writing, like writing again. So
Yeah.
that was a sign for me. Okay, I can do this. I'm good at this because I think I'm a director. So,
Mhm.
and I think I'm very good at directing. So I didn't know about if I always wrote, but it's a whole other thing to write screenplays.
Well,
So
apparently you could be whatever you want to be, is what I'm
Yes,
hearing.
exactly, Isabel. It's
Um,
out there for you.
I'm
yeah.
like, if you want to be a
So
super entrepreneur, then that's what you're going to be, and you're going to be a successful one at it. Like, I think for you, the magic of you, and we just met, and I'm
Yeah.
already unbelievably impressed, is that when you put your mind to something, you are talented in so many different areas that you can make it happen. I mean that should inspire anyone who's listening to this podcast
oh, thank
about
you,
that
thank you.
you're a
Yeah.
Yeah,
real person who just has the
I,
drive that is amazing. That's seriously
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm blown away.
oh, thank you. I mean, it's true that when I decide something, things usually move very fast.
Mhm.
So,
Sounds like
but
somebody else
in
I know, Angela.
writing,
Well, I was going to ask you. It's so funny you say this because I really believe, and Aisha does as well, about sort of the power of manifestation,
mhm.
and I feel like it's very powerful, and I've seen it in my life where when it's like clear about the thing that I want. It can't be like I want to manifest $1 million. It has to be a very specific thing that okay, this is the right next step, and I'm going to put my energy into that right next step, then things kind of will fall into place if I'm putting my energy into that next step. Do you feel like that's kind of true for you
I mean,
or?
it's funny how you say that because I'm just about to launch a manifesting master class.
Oh,
I
Stop.
wow.
I'm launching it next week. Uh, yeah, I think I'm a powerful manifester.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would say
Uh,
Mhm.
so.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and magic comes. Like I won the green card lottery. I like there's a lot of things that have happened in my life where magic just took over. So, but with writing, when I started writing, actually, it was quite hard. I
Mm.
struggled. It took me like a year to write a script, and I had a series of unfortunate events, and nothing was clicking. And that was
Right,
like the
right.
first time in my life where I decided to do something and then nothing happened for like 4 years, which is maybe for writers in a writer's career in
Mhm.
perspective, 4 years
Mhm.
is very short,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for me that's very long
Right.
because
No, I
I'm
get
Mhm.
it. I get it.
having
Mhm.
like things very fast. And then just before the end of the year of the pandemic, I mean, I struggling as a single mom trying to pay the bills in
Mhm.
LA, making having two kids growing up. It was a big, like, those 4 years were really really hard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah.
but I was, I'd never give up. And then I mean, like, I was like ubering at night in 2018 for Christmas time to pay the bills, and like I really
Wow.
hustled hard. And then a producer I worked with, I agreed to work on a pilot for free, I think in 2017, for like a whole year.
Mm.
And basically, she came back. We had a great time. This pilot didn't get sold, but it was a great experience. And she came back to me and said, "Hey, I got this thing that might happen where I'm talking to these people to do Christmas movies.
Mm.
Would you like to try?"
Oh, okay.
And I was really writing very dark stuff at the time.
Mhm.
Gotcha. That
you
is
know.
so funny.
That's wild.
That
Yeah.
is
Uh-huh.
that's also
You need
such a
those.
message from the universe being like, I feel like we're done with that for a minute. Like
Yeah.
we need to you need to lighten up your life a little bit, Isabel, and we're
Exactly.
gonna help you do that.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it was like I was like, okay, I'll try. And in the process of trying, because I'm not someone who watched Christmas movies,
Hmm. Hmm.
so I was like really unfamiliar with the genre.
Right.
And I
Gotcha.
said,
Right.
okay, give me. So I came up with a couple of ideas. I pitched them. They liked one, which was turned into Secret Santa.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
And then she pitched it, talked to financiers, and they said, okay. She says, you have. So I had to write it without knowing if they were actually going to buy it. But at that
Okay.
point, I was like, I'm going to write it.
Hmm.
And if they don't buy it, then I can sell it somewhere else.
Yeah,
I'll have
Hmm.
it,
Hmm.
right?
absolutely.
So I had nothing to lose. I was writing for free anyway. I was writing for myself. So I studied the genre. And in that process, I developed a new process to write
Mm.
and figured out I wrote Secret Santa in 2.5 weeks. And I
Wow.
sent
Wow.
it to them. And the producer in Canada said it's the best Christmas movie I've ever read.
Mm.
In all
Wow.
of like the Hallmark genre. I mean, I don't know if she said that to everyone, but I'll take it.
Heck yeah, I would record her
Yeah,
saying that
sure.
and play
Yeah,
that
Great.
over and over
Hmm.
yeah.
again.
Producers are happy.
Hmm.
I'm happy. And so they had 3 slots. The way it works, usually producers they get a number of slots to fill.
Hmm.
It's not
Hmm.
like, oh, we're gonna buy that one. They make a
Right.
deal with the producer and they'll say you'll have a slate of 3 films or 10 films. I was going to do the first one. A second writer was going to do another one, and I don't think the third one was set yet. But
Mm.
I turned mine around so quickly, and they were so happy that they had a meeting and they decided to give me this number slot number 3.
Oh wow. So you had two out
Mm.
of the
Oh,
three.
wow.
Yes, so they gave me, and this one was easier because they just gave me a novella to adapt,
Oh,
which
okay.
was
Great. Yeah.
turned to be beneath Christmas Beneath the Stars.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Gotcha.
And the
Gotcha.
rewrites were quite light. Me and this producer director really connect. We see eye to eye. We have a really good connection in terms of
Hmm.
work. I know when she tells me something, I understand her vision, and I
Hmm.
basically execute it and send it back to her, and then
Yeah.
it's hers to do whatever she wants with it.
Yeah.
And so
So
that
I
was
want to take a step back because you said a lot of things that are
So many.
amazing. Um, but when you were studying the genre,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of came up with a methodology that allowed you to write movies quickly, and I think that's kind of tied to the workshop that you do. Can
Okay.
you tell us a little bit about what that methodology is to write something in 2.5 weeks? Because I would like to know.
Okay,
And
well,
I'll tell
clearly
you,
not
I
giving
used
away the whole
to.
thing though, because clearly this is what
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
for a
All right,
living, right? We
fine,
get
okay,
that.
fine. I don't mind. It's I teach a master class and I even teach a boot camp because even though it sounds easy, it seems it's still complicated.
It does not sound
Yeah.
easy in any way, shape, or form, just to be clear. That does not sound easy.
So
Yeah.
basically, what I did is that I watched a lot of them
Mhm.
and I broke them down.
Mhm.
So I broke them down beat by beat, like scene by scene, and started to see patterns. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mhm.
this is what happens in the first 10 beats. And if you break down enough, you start seeing, oh, this is happening always at the same place. The antagonist comes always at the same place. The
Yep,
almost
Mhm.
comes at
absolutely.
the same place. So that's how I did it. I had I used these yellow pads with beats and basically put them side by side, and then I would brainstorm mine on cards. And I
Mhm.
found that the key number is 70. You need 70 cards, 70 beats to have a movie. If you
Mhm.
make it less, your movie's going to be too short.
Got you.
Yeah.
If you make it more, your movie's going to be too long for this
Mhm.
genre. So 70 beat is about the right. So you start with 70. You might end up with a movie with 85 beats or 80 beats because we want to leave a little room for,
Yeah.
creativity while you're writing.
Mhm.
But the to be able to start, I always say my students, don't start writing until you have 70. So
Mhm.
you really have to have the whole movie in your head on cards, and then you break it down the same way that you have done for your the movies you've watched. You
Mhm.
recreate the same kind of outline, and this is what you start with to write.
Mhm.
Understood.
And I've used the system. I use the system for everything, not
Mhm.
just Christmas movie now. And for Christmas movies, Secret Santa I wrote in 2.5 weeks. Christmas Beneath the Stars in two. Um, Holiday Swap in six. Christmas on the Rock in
I'm sorry,
five.
6 days?
And I think Eclectic Christmas I wrote over a weekend.
Oh my
And
goodness.
last
Wow.
I wrote in like it's almost, I would say, 24 hours. My last one I wrote over 2 days because I made a little oops. Somebody texted me that this producer was looking for a Christmas movie, and basically I had I already had started. I had 20 pages written, and I thought, well, I'll write it over the weekend, or by next week I can send it. And that was the Friday morning, but they loved my pitch and they asked to read it right away.
Oh
Oh.
wow. Yeah, that comes up all the
Yeah, yeah.
time.
So don't do that. Because usually people are so slow in this business to get back to you. I was like, oh, they're not going to get back to me before it was Friday 12, like noon. Who
Yeah.
gets a script? I thought they would write back on Monday and I would have time, and basically got, and I couldn't say I didn't have it, obviously. Hopefully that this person does not listen to your
Oh
podcast.
my
But
goodness,
anyway,
it's too
so
late
I
now. They're happy.
I know.
so basically I went from noon that Friday and didn't sleep until the next morning at 6 a.m.
Oh
and wrote
wow.
the whole thing.
And I'm
I
just
mean,
reminding myself that there's 2 kids somewhere in there as you're
mhm.
trying to do all of this.
Well,
It's
they're teenager and adults now, but yeah, one is an adult, one is a teenager. But yeah, basically,
Yeah. So
so
wow.
I have a question about
the system works.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a question about this comes up a lot when I was teaching. People would always so I'm curious to hear your answer to what is a beat?
It's a scene.
Just a scene.
A
Okay.
scene. And I call it a beat because usually the one scene has one thing it needs to accomplish.
Mhm. Mhm.
And this is what I teach in my boot camp. This is what we focus on. People start with their beat. It's like a whole paragraph. I'm like, no, you've got to explain your beat in one sentence or two
Yeah.
tops.
Mhm.
What is happening? Not how you're going to tell it. What is
Got it.
happening?
Mhm.
Right? And it's the what and not the how. Once you
Yeah.
go to the writing, then you can figure out the how. But I will tell you, this is the most difficult part. I don't know, it's very challenging for most
Mhm.
people to make the differentiation between the how and the what.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And for example, you'll have a scene where you'll have, oh, the guy's walking down the street, he spills his coffee, he gets a phone call, his brother talks about Christmas, and then they promise. And so this is like this, right?
Mhm.
And basically, what that scene is that he gets a call from his brother to make sure that he's going to come to Christmas. I don't
Right.
care how and you're making the guy is a little bit messy, or like you have to describe it in one sentence.
Got it.
Right.
And it's really, really hard. It's hard for everyone. This is the most challenging part. And I keep telling them, no, you can cut. This is generic. This is generic. I want to
Mhm.
know the heart. What is happening? And yeah, it's challenging. So that's and but once you start seeing it, that's
Yeah.
when you can actually start writing fast, because if you understand what is happening in your scene, the scene, it writes itself.
Yeah.
Wow. So I have a question.
Mhm.
Yes.
Do you ever get attached to what you're writing, or is that something that you would do earlier? Because I know as a writer, you will write something and then what actually ends up on the screen is not exactly what you wrote, right? If you're not directing and goes through the lens of the director and all the things that they want to do, and then you're like, technically, I created that, but it becomes its own thing. And I was
Mm-hmm.
wondering, like, do you, you know, speaking with Angela, and over time, there's a point where you can disconnect yourself when you're being hired to write something in order to
Mm-hmm.
just start producing. But I'm wondering at two things. One, do you ever get attached to what you're writing, or is that something that you used to do earlier on, and now you're like, no, I'm a machine, I can just throw it out? And
Mm-hmm.
then the other is, and I've always wanted to ask somebody this, um, is there rules of etiquette around? I'm trying to choose my words correctly around how much you're allowed to reuse slash retool in terms of plots,
Mm.
and are there rules around that at all, and between and on the same network and in between
Mm-hmm.
networks?
Oh, you mean like if you're watching a movie and you break it down and you basically replicate that
Well,
same.
like, because I'm wondering, like, you did a movie a while ago. There's another movie that came out recently that is super similar to the one that you wrote, like very similar, right?
Really? Which one?
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that. But
That's
I
it's
noticed
okay.
that because
I'm
I've watched a
curious.
lot. Like, so for
Yeah.
Oh,
instance,
but they're all the same, I mean, they're not all the same,
right,
but it's not, it doesn't matter. I'm
right.
very
So,
curious to see
like, I was
though.
always wondering, like, hey, is that a thing? Like, are you allowed to, like, oh, like, do you ever see something you're like, I wrote that, 2 years ago, but cool, cool, cool. Glad you guys are retooling it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
are there, or do you look at older movies and you're like, you know what, I could do something fun with that premise, and I could, like, switch it up a little bit and make it fresh. Is that part of your
Absolutely,
process as well?
absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. If you see a lot of the movies that are sold are often they looked at another movie and basically changed it enough that it's not the same movie. And that's
Gotcha.
also what I teach in my boot camp. You can take a movie literally like breaking it down and look at the what and change out the how,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll have a different movie.
So
Yeah.
So,
so the
you
movie that
know?
I was thinking of is that you did an eclectic Christmas,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And there is a movie out, and it's about, if I remember correctly, there is like an antique store,
Mhm.
and someone
Treasure,
who,
treasure hunt, right?
right, and there was a treasure hunt to find, kind of like give the things away to people to that's meaningful, right? And then there's a movie that came out this year, and it's called Five Rings, and it's about an antique store, and the woman who owns this store, she passed away, and so she tasks her granddaughter to find um pieces from her that she had found, to find the person who was, who had probably belonged to, and she gave her a it's like a treasure hunt, and she goes around trying to figure out who the each one. And so there's a boy, a young man. She lived in the city, but she came back home to the town, and the boy in the town helped her find all of the people to give the rings to, which I know and is very similar.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Same. It's exactly the same. Yeah.
And I was like,
You
huh,
know.
they even kept
And
the
there might
antique
be,
store.
yeah, there might be three more, four more
Right.
that comes out that are going to be, and those are tropes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, that was," I mean, like, I get it, but that one was really, really
Very
similar. I
similar.
was like, we could have changed up the, I don't know, did it have to be an antique store? I don't know. But again,
I
with
mean, oh, I was gonna. Do you feel like though
So,
it's
yeah,
like the
can I
circle of
correct?
life in a way? Because it's like,
No,
that just kind of happens if you're writing a lot of like you're probably influenced by other things and other people are influenced by you and
right.
that kind of thing. Do you
Right.
feel like it's kind of the circle of life?
Exactly. Like, I was wondering, is that's just part of the industry? It's just kind of like what is done.
the Christmas movie industry, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and even others, I mean, you have often two movies that are very similar, like I know friends who had like Die Hard on a Bridge. In the Christmas industry, we understand they're all the same. It's a very tight formula.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mhm.
have students in my master class or in my boot camp sometimes that they will have the inherited trope. It's a
Mhm.
trope.
Mhm.
You can find, and I tell them, look at mine and break it down and follow that structure, because
Mhm.
that is a good inherited trope.
Mhm. Mhm.
And if you're doing the real estate trope, then you have to
Right.
go and find the ones that are same.
Yep.
So
Got
yeah,
it.
I mean, and you can use it at your advantage. I mean, that's basically what I did when every time now I don't do it because I know Christmas movies so much that I don't need to break a movie down every time I have one to write. But at first, if you have a trope, I'm like, find the ones that have the same trope,
Mhm.
and look how they're made. And it's not, then you write down the what, and then you change the how.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I say in my masterclass all the time, it's not about being original, it's about infusing heart.
Got it.
You have
Mm.
to
I
find
love
the
that.
heart in every
Yeah.
moment. And if you have the heart, people don't care about originality.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
I agree with
movies, for
you.
example, heist thrillers, is about the head. And as a writer, you have to be smarter than the audience.
Right.
When
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
writing Christmas movies, you have to make the audience feel something.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So it's not
Mhm.
about trying to outsmart anyone, be more original than another. Now, of course, there's so many that it's, if you have the originality, like in your pitch, if you're not known, it's better, because
Mhm.
if you're known, they probably don't care. They'll give you the idea and they'll say, write this, right?
Got you.
Right.
And but I want to circle back to your first question,
Mm.
Isha, because it's a very good question. How attached can you be from your work?
Mhm.
And I see myself as two different things. I'm a
Okay.
screenwriter for hire, which
Mhm.
is, for me, the Christmas movies, it's, for me, it's a job.
Okay.
Mhm.
They need something, I do the job, I deliver, and I'm a pro, and I do it fast, I do it well, I'm easy. And once I deliver the script, I forget about it.
Got
They
you.
can
Mhm.
change it, they can make a good movie, they can make a bad movie, and literally, I don't care.
Mhm.
I
Fair.
Yeah.
don't care,
Yeah.
because I
Mhm.
have done my job.
Right.
What
Right.
I care about is if the producer that I work with and and the director are happy with my work, because
Okay.
that is that those are the people that I'm working for. And if they're happy and they make whatever they make and they're happy with the results and they hire me again,
Okay.
that's, it makes, I make a living. and,
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
my only duty is to the producer and director that are hiring me.
Mhm.
Okay.
But this is one box for me.
Right.
Mhm.
The second box is me as a screenwriter, director, my projects. And I
Mm.
and
That
I
makes
do
sense.
write certain things also that I write that I'm not attached as a director, that I'm like, I don't want to write this. I don't want to direct this. You have to know, as a screenwriter, you don't have control. If you
Right.
want to have control, then you have to produce yourself, which
Mhm.
Right.
is, I've done it. It's a lot of work.
Right.
And
Mhm.
it is also creative, but it is you're running the business, you're running the show.
Mhm.
um and there's a limit, I think, if you're going to be producing yourself, of what what you can, I mean, maybe some people succeed at a higher level, but that it's going to have a limit of where you can go.
Right.
If I write a script and I sell it, I can sell it at a higher level than where I am, and it will
Right.
bring me up to another step, which I have. I have big ambitions, and my project Love Letter to Laos, which is about my life in Laos, that I'm working on for a few years now, trying to get this project off the ground as a director writer.
Okay.
I do care a lot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
care a lot, and I will pick the producer
Mhm.
that will believe in me and that I believe will help me create the vision that I have.
Mhm.
So
Understood.
I go from caring immensely to caring. I'm very professional, so I do care what my
Mhm.
producer thinks of me and
Right.
the relationship and the ease. My job is to make their job easy. So when I write a script, I think like a producer in a way that I know what I'm going to deliver. They're not going to have to tweak, they're not going to have to
Right.
do so many things to make it fit their budget.
Right,
And
right.
this is some of the things I teach in my masterclass. A lot of writers don't think about the producing process.
Right.
Yeah. Hmm.
Angela taught me that. I wanted to give everybody like wings and cars moving and they could fly over there. And she's like, yeah, that's no.
No,
Writing
no,
that
no.
$1 million line, right? And an army invaded,
Exactly.
it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
don't write $1 million lines, so.
Now,
Exactly.
what is just if you had to give, other than this sort of 70 beats thing, which I will remember,
Yeah.
um, what advice would you give writers kind of wanting to get into the holiday movie game?
So I think a lot of the problems are in the concept of the idea. And you brushed on this a little bit, Isha, that writers get attached to their ideas
Hmm.
and don't, like, you'll think, oh, okay, she's doing this, she's a lawyer, he's a rancher, and not think, okay, is there a better profession for this character to accomplish this story? Is there a better
Right,
profession for
right,
this guy? Is it the best decision for my story? People get attached. I always say, don't get on your ideas wagon until you know that you've tested it and your story works.
Got it.
So
mm,
often from the conception, there are problems in it that makes it difficult to, once like you're creating an idea that has holes in it, and that
right,
that
right,
not everything is connected, and then once you move to the outlining, you're carrying this problem, and sometimes even in the writing, and
Right.
people don't test their idea. I have ideas that I thought, oh, this is so good, and I developed an idea tester for
hmm.
rom-coms and Christmas movies.
Oh, wow.
I pass it through the test
Hmm.
and it doesn't
It
work.
doesn't
And
pass, huh?
until it works, I can't I can't move to the second phase. So that's a lot of people end up writing them, and then they come to me, oh, I have the screenplay, and I'm like, oh, please come to me when you have your idea, not
Right.
so I can help
Right,
you
right.
make sure that your idea works. So that way I don't have to tell you, you have to start again,
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because
yeah.
if the problem is in your concept,
Hmm.
then it's page one rewrite.
Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
Hmm.
And I'll
Absolutely.
tell you, I wrote the love letter to Laos, the first draft, before I came up with my system.
Hmm.
And I'm
Oh,
doing a page one rewrite now after 4 years. This script has gotten great praise. I made the top one, next 100 at Nickel with it. So it's a
Mm.
really good script, very close to making it again. Um, and I realize now, because of the experience that I've gained, also working for a year and a half, I've been teaching, working with writers, and it's been the best school for me because I see all the mistakes and all the things that make writers fail. So I've learned a lot by giving my time and my expertise. I just become better every time I teach a class.
that's
But
amazing.
and now I'm doing a page one rewrite, and people are like, "Are you crazy? You've been working on this script for 4 years?" Yeah, but that's exactly right. My problem was at the beginning. I
Yeah.
didn't have all the things that I needed. And so there's problems in the foundation of this house that I've built. I can renovate as much as I want. The foundation will never be there if I
Right.
don't start again.
Oh
So
my gosh. I have a script that's like 10 years old that I did a page one rewrite of. And I kept being like, oh, maybe I could just save this little section. And then at a certain point, I just said, no. Yeah, it was like, it never made any sense. If something never makes any sense, then.
I used to be so scared of page one rewrite. I heard this friend who had a script on the blacklist, the real black.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Said, announced to everyone I'm doing a page one rewrite. And I was like, she's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to tell you, since I've been teaching and since I've been, seeing it, because I advise people, no, this is a page one rewrite. We need to normalize page one rewrites
Yeah.
instead of rewriting
That's
and
so funny.
rewriting and rewriting.
That's
If
so
it
funny.
doesn't work, you're doing a rewrite and it doesn't work, scrap it, start again, because
Yeah.
you're going to save so much time.
Hmm.
And make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you get that your story works before you go outlining and writing.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I have one more question, and then we should
yes,
wrap up. If
Yeah, we
Aisha,
could
do you
talk
have
to
a
you all
question
day.
too?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah, it's like we should probably wrap up soon.
I
Okay.
talk
The
to us.
question I know. The question I have is, this is kind of a personal question that as you're talking, I'm like, okay, I need your thoughts on this. How do you, I mean, are you still working with the same producer, or do you, like, how do you get your movies sold? Is it different producers? Is it um, people approach you? Like, how does it work?
So the three other movies that I had, so the
Hmm.
first one I had a slate of three. So they renewed the other slate of three.
Mm,
And they had a meeting and they decided I did such a good job with the two. And they basically gave me the whole slate, which is never, it's
wow.
unheard of. But
yeah.
the American producer loved working with me. I love working with her, and it was easy. So I wrote 1 week, one, and then just went through the three and delivered, and had three movies come out um, end of 2023,
Mm,
and no, 22, 22.
mm,
And 2023, I had a lot of different projects that came from producers coming to me.
mm-hmm.
And the strike really, I had four things that I had built, like big
Yeah.
projects, big
Mm-hmm.
things. Kind of everything fell apart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
strike
So
was
because
brutal.
of the strike. So 2023 really killed everything, and I basically had to rebuild from scratch.
Oh,
And
okay.
and honestly, beginning of 2024, I didn't have much to sell because I sold five, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And all the other stuff I had, now that's the problem too. The stuff I had was very, very dark. People are not coming for me to me now for dark stuff. They come for
Mm-hmm.
me for rom-com and romance. So I didn't have,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't think I would have to go back to writing a spec, but I had to write a spec. So I wrote a spec early this year. And but I've been really trying to focus on my love letter project and
Mm-hmm.
really doing, I've been working, I work very fast on the Christmas stuff, but this one I'm working very slow.
Yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
working with the story consultant just to make sure I'm not doing the same mistakes again. And and so I'm doing, I spent a lot of time this year working on that, and I'm still outlining. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still outlining. I'm not even at the writing process yet, because once I start writing, it's going to go very fast. But the
Right.
Right. Yeah.
outlining, making
Right.
sure, because this one I'm aiming to reach like Oscar level producers. Like I really want people that have done really great films, that type,
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm putting the work. And I've been teaching. I went to Greece mentoring,
Oh,
and I wrote two Christmas movies, one alone and one with a partner. And I just got signed through a manager
Oh,
Tuesday.
great.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday. I wasn't
congratulations.
looking, but it happened. Somebody introduced me to this guy, and I really like him. So now I have a manager who's going to, pass these around, and I've been working on assignments, but writing assignments don't. The thing is, they're great because they pay the bills, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not sometimes things you can talk about, and it
Right.
doesn't rise your credits. But the goal is, as a writer, mostly first is to get writing assignments. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure what the percentage is, but it's huge. It's over 80% of the money that the WGA makes. And and I'm non-union. Most people, the money is in the writing assignments. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
writing a script and selling it. You write a script to get a sample, to show what you can do. But that's why I also wrote a spec, because I can't send the scripts that I've sold. So I
Right.
have no, like, people go, "Oh, can I read one of your screenplay?" I'm like, "Well, I've sold them all."
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I have a couple, so two different ones, and I wrote a third one, which is a high concept family adventure Christmas, which is a huge budget. So if
Mm.
if I can
Oh,
get that one in the right hands, then like a Christmas Chronicles, but with the really cool concept. So now the next step is to, that's why I felt I needed a manager now, because I need to get this script in the right hands, and I
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
access to those hands.
Right, right,
Mhm.
right. Absolutely.
So that's the thing. But the next one I write is probably going to be a contained psychological horror, because I got a
Mm.
great concept and my manager loves it too. So I'm
Nice.
gonna go back to dark. I'm
That's
going
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
That's okay.
yeah.
That's gonna be
yeah,
amazing. All
Mm.
right, so we're
yeah,
gonna have to unfortunately leave soon, but we have a question for you, and we probably should have
yeah.
prepped you earlier, but I feel like that you, more than any other human on this planet, can be ready. So
Okay.
we want to know, do you have a favorite rom-com holiday movie? Like five? And
Five
actually,
of them?
this isn't one part of my question, but I'm going to ask you now. When you were doing your research, that means you had to watch a whole lot of these movies.
Mhm.
Did you like them? Like, because you approach it like a scientist, which I love. Like, your brain just, you took it apart and you came up with an equation to make it happen, which is definitely like I merit to someone like that. That's his general approach to all things. But there were, as you said before, there that was not your genre of before you were immersed in this. So were there ones that you liked firsthand? Like what are were like you were like, okay, I could watch even though I don't watch
Mhm.
these.
I like the holiday. I like so I have to say I love writing them.
Mhm.
I'm not the audience.
Got you.
Mhm.
I'm not the
That's
audience.
fair.
I watch them. I mean, now I have to watch them because, of course, I'm, like, but when I watch them, I can't stop myself from being the scientist.
Got you.
I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
I don't forget. I'm like, oh, and then sometimes like I keep pausing. So I'm really annoyed, like annoying to people watching it with me, because I keep pausing. Oh, they did it at that minute, that minute. Like for me, the holiday movies are kind of work. They're
Understood.
kind of work. I analyze them. I just watch Hot Frosty, and I kept talking because I keep commenting of like, oh, this, oh, they did this, oh, they did that.
Mhm.
For me, it's really yeah, it's work. I like the analyzing part of it, but I don't think I'm their audience. I don't think they're, yeah, it's not my favorite. I don't see, oh, I don't, I mean, I would like to say I love them, but as an audience, I don't watch them. I just like to, for me, I love the mechanic of it.
Yes.
I love
Got you.
like understanding, like the fascination I have with them is that how can it be so formulaic, and at the same time people can have watched like hundreds of them, and it
Mhm.
still gets to them if you manage to incorporate the heart, and this I'm very good at,
Mhm.
to be
Mhm.
able to find where the heart is.
Mhm.
Often I have to tell my students, hey, it's a rom-com, where's the romance,
Right.
where's the Christmas? Like they're thinking, oh, they're building these stories, but they forget that you need to find where is the heart going to go in here.
Right.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
I'm fascinated. So when I watch them, that's what I love.
No, I see you.
I
Mm.
love like the yeah, the way the construction of it. People
Mhm.
think it's simple. Oh, it's formulaic, it's easy. And I've taught like hundreds of people now, like, few hundreds in a year and a half. And I'll tell you, it's harder than people think.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot harder than people think to be able to copy that formula and make it original, make it unique, make it heartfelt, and feel like, because the producers, they get like hundreds of them, how do
Mhm.
you make that for them, like they want to keep turning the page? And I will
Right,
tell you,
yeah.
I'm very tough with this. When writers sent me, I'm like, when I'm bored, I stop. I
Mm.
rarely pass page 10.
Yeah. Mm.
Gotcha.
Rarely pass
Yeah,
page 10. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, we got to start again. I'm sorry. I'm tough. But, you think I'm tough? producers out there are even tougher.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to have a little thick skin to, I'm loving. I mean, I care. Oh, and I just had my first student who just sold his script
Get
Oh, cool.
out.
Congratulations. Yeah.
from my boot camp this week. Matthew Frendo. He wrote a bakery contest type inspired by the British
Mm-hmm.
bakery show.
Yep.
That he
Oh,
loves that, and he wrote and it was a very good script. He wrote it during my boot camp and joined my. I have a career strategy
hmm.
uh, program that I have 20 writers in there, and he joined it at the beginning of the year and followed my guidance because I'm very good with branding and marketing because of my entrepreneurial background.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I approached the business with branding, marketing. I think most writers fail because they put 90%, 99% of their time writing and 1% of the time,
Mm-hmm.
the business. And I keep
Hmm.
saying it's 50-50. You are a
Yeah.
sales. If you're a writer, you're a salesman.
Now,
Wow.
Isabel, how can people get in touch with you? Tell us all your links for your
Yes.
website and your business and all of that, so people can, try to take one of your classes or join your boot camp.
Yeah, or follow me. Yes.
Yeah, or
So
follow.
on all social media, it's Isabel Dréan, ISABELDREAN, at like every platform. I'm not on X. Um,
That's okay.
I'm not on
Yeah.
X.
Yeah.
I think you know why.
Yep.
Uh,
Hmm.
and my website is isabeldrean.com, and my classes is 21dayscreenplay.com
Okay.
because
Fantastic.
I do teach a technique that makes it marketable scripts and writing them fast and efficiently. So, yeah.
Cool.
Amazing. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. It
This has
was
been
so great to
this has
hear,
been so
yeah,
much
about your
fun.
I could
process.
talk to you for like all day,
I
right?
know.
I know.
This is amazing. This
And
is
follow
amazing.
me on Facebook. Like connect on Facebook, please, Isha. I want to get to know you.
Absolutely. I want to get to know myself too. And and it would be great. I'm learning you're so much to give and to teach. I'm a little in awe. I'm a fan right now, just so you know.
And I have a free class, by the way, if you wanted to. I have a free class, How to Break into the Industry with the Christmas movie.
Oh,
And you just
wow.
have to go on my site and you can sign up. It's a 26-minute class, but it's free for everyone who's thinking about writing a Christmas
Oh my
movie.
goodness.
Oh, wow.
You're
That's
going to have
great.
so
That's
many.
great. I know. Well,
Thank you
thank you
so much
so
for having
much.
me.
And now it's time for an affirmation from Aisha and Angela. Not sure who needs to hear this, but we just wanted to remind you that you need to release perfectionism and embrace the beauty of the imperfection. Sacrificing your sanity, it's just not worth it. And you risk sacrificing the sanctity of the moment. Life is really short. Cherish your time with your loved ones. You won't regret it. Okay, till next time.
Thank you so much for listening. And if you want to find us, know where to find us by now. But on social media, we are at the number 4, theloveoftinsel.com. We're on Instagram for The Love of Tinsel, Facebook, and check out our TikTok. We've got some fun videos that our intern Adia put on. So thank you so much. And we want to do a shout out to our producer Twain Prefume, our intern Adia, and Kara Morehouse of Little Blue Windmill, who designed our incredible logo. Anything else, Aish?
No, that's it. Can't wait to talk to you again.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.